guys, it's me. So I waited till evening to do this because I have been, I don't know, really tired for one thing, and I wanted to do the rest of my research that I needed. And what I realized is I really need to break this up into all the different parts. So tomorrow I am going to give you a Mabon ritual and an idea of what Mabon is. And tonight I am starting the first series of the steps of ritual. So we talked about yesterday a little bit the 9 basic components of the ritual. Purification of self, purification of space, creating sacred space, invocation, ritual observance, energy raising, earthing the power, thanking the god and goddess, and breaking the cycle. So I'm going to break these down into one video for every point here. So the first component is purification of self. And I'm breaking these down because there's so much that goes into each one. And I'm going to tell you ahead of time to realize. Does this look like a skull to you? Okay, I know I'm way off base, but suddenly it looks like a skull. Okay, sorry. ADD. I realized that there can be so much to do with each one, but there doesn't have to be either. Again, it's what you feel. If you feel like you need to do some of this or all of this, go right ahead. If you feel like you don't need any of that to purification to accomplish the goal of purification of self, great, then don't do that. But I'm just going to show you or talk about some suggestions that I use and show you some of the things that I do. Okay, so what does that mean, purification of self? What we're talking about is preparing yourself for the ritual. Whatever kind of ritual you're doing, there's lots of different kinds. There's full moon aspects. There's new moon stuff. There's the 8 basic holidays that we have as pagans. There is invocations to the god or goddess that you've chosen. There's self-dedication. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of rituals. So some of this stuff you have to think about what you feel like needs to be done for this ritual and gear some of the stuff that we're going to talk about towards what the goal of that ritual is. So in other words, if you are doing an invocation to call forth the goddess that you have chosen as your matron goddess, which is, let's say, Arachne. I only say that because I just got called to call her forth in my life because I have a big wolf spider living on my altar over there. You might want to think about the purification of self as how do you want to prepare to present yourself to Arachne. So you may want to get a little set of earrings that has a spider web on it. You may want to dress in Halloween garb that has spider webs on it, or make a jeweled spider out of crystals that you research and decide Arachne likes, or herbs that you may want to bathe in herbs that are corresponding to Arachne, or that you feel are corresponding to Arachne. So everything that you do, you can gear towards what kind of ritual you're doing. So keep that in mind. Okay. So in essence, it consists of bathing, anointing your body with oil, meditation, deep breathing, and otherwise purifying your body, mind, and soul and readying it for the upcoming rite. This is truly a purification, an attempt to shrug off problems and thoughts of your everyday world. It's a time for calmness and peace. Although ritual bathing is common in Wicca, there are other methods of purifying the body. Okay, so again, whatever you feel comfortable with. Now, for actual Sabbats, I have to say that I usually try to take a purifying bath. And I will tell you, for me, that day in preparing for that Sabbath, I am usually only ingesting things that came from the earth and are purified from the earth. In other words, on a day of ritual, I would not be drinking my Blue Mountain Dew. It just doesn't go together for me. I am otherwise purifying my body to connect to nature. I don't want to be putting, blue dye in there and all that kind of stuff. If you feel like that's okay and that doesn't hinder you, please pay no mind. Again, what works for you works for you. But I'm very, what's the word I'm looking for? Cognizant. I'm very cognizant of the fact that everything that I do on that day, I want to, and there's bees around, which means the goddess. It's hilarious. Every time I do a video lately, they're around. I'm very cognizant of the fact that I'm going to be connecting to the gods and goddesses and my ancestors, my guardians, and the earth itself, and I want to keep myself as pure as I can for that experience. I don't want anything to get in the way of that. I don't want anything to hinder that. It's funny, this bee, I'm sure you can't see it because it's not right over the camera yet, although maybe he will be. He's crawling all over my phone. So I will, now this is my son's Tiavana thing, but I use it because it keeps the tea fresh. I make my own teas from herbs. I try to make it from the herbs that I've grown, but if that can't happen, I go to the home goods store. Up there, you probably just saw it. So if he gets in our way, I'm sorry. Hey goddess, I get it, you're around. I try to go where I know that these herbs are not going to have pesticides or anything like that. They're grown all naturally. And so I go where I know that that's the case. So look at how pretty that is. It smells incredible. So that's one of the videos I think I'm going to do coming up this weekend. I'm going to try to hopefully load it tonight or tomorrow on how to make your own teas, how to make your own incenses, soaps. And I especially like to do that for my rituals because I want to keep myself as pure as I can. So I will drink a tea that has something to do with that ritual. So Mabon is coming up, so I would do something with apple in it, something with some of the herbs that are really doing well. Rosemary, mint still is doing great. Chamomile. Look, I appreciate that the goddess is around, but please don't land on me. Chamomile. What else? What else would I use? Blackberries. Blackberries are still out. Gosh, it smells so good. So I would, make a tea together that had those ingredients. All right, and the sun is really going to kill me. Hold on, I'm going to pause and move the camera a little. Okay, hopefully that still works. Yeah, it kind of does. Okay. So when I take a ritual bath, I make up my own bath salts. You don't have to do that. You can buy them if you feel that they are natural. Ooh, this is good. I use patchouli in most of my stuff because I'm a patchouli girl, and I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but you either like patchouli or you don't. There's no in between. But I am a patchouli girl. I love the smell of patchouli. So this is my own bath salt, and it is just made up of regular, all-natural rock salt. There is rosemary in there. There is, what else? Rose leaves, rose buds. I kind of crushed up some rose buds. Whoops, I'm dumping it. There is patchouli, obviously, because I can smell it. And I put it all together in a bowl, and jar it and put it in my bathroom for when I need something for my ritual bath. I use all natural soaps. I use natural soaps that I make myself. So these are starting to melt because these are coconut oil based. So they're starting to melt because it's too warm, but look. So see, you can see the herbs in there. And I don't remember what I used in all of these, but I made all of these. Or you could go and buy an all natural soap, or you can use, Irish Spring or whatever you have. If you feel like that's right for you, do it. I'm just saying that I try to keep myself all natural for ritual day. Okay. So let's see, where were we? Okay, so if you don't want to do an actual ritual bath, now let me go back real quick. When I do a ritual bath, I am lighting a candle. I am using my soap. I'm using my bath salt or herbal sachet. I would keep in mind that if you use straight herbs, I have muslin bags that I put the herbs into and put that into the bath and let the water actually run right over the muslin bag. I hang it over the faucet so it goes in there. I made the mistake a long time ago of using just fresh herbs that I had just picked, which is just wonderful until you get out of the tub and you're trying to figure out how to clean it. It doesn't work very well, and it kind of will stop up your drain if you let some of them go down there, and it kind of makes a mess. Now, if you have, a better idea, I heard people have a screen that they put a screen in somehow and pull it back out. Pantyhose bags, sometimes if you use, or pantyhose, I've heard people buy a fresh thing of pantyhose and put the herbs in a pantyhose and tie it up and put that in the bath. That works really well. Just keep in mind that you have to clean it afterwards. Okay, so I light a candle. The idea is to visualize cleansing yourself of everything that is no longer needed. When I usually sit and watch it all go down the drain, thinking about at the time everything that I have cast off that I don't need anymore going right down the drain. And that visualization helps you to feel like you are cleaner energetically, that you are cleaner physically, that you are preparing your body and soul for the ritual ahead. Okay, if you, let's say you don't have time, and I will tell you, I have come up with a ritual in 10 minutes because someone came over and said, hey, I want to do a ritual for this and not bathed. In which case I do something else. I pull out a Palo Santo stick, or I pull out some sage, and I cleanse myself that way. If it's a windy day, I will go stand out in the open air that we have out in the back and allow the wind to pull off anything that is no longer needed. The idea is to do that in a way that you feel is really cleansing your energetic self and preparing it for ritual. Okay? All right, stand in the wind. Visualize it carrying away negativity. Oh, I didn't get my drum out. I got my little drum. Okay. I like showing off my drums, but music, drumming. Spend a couple minutes and allow the vibrational sound to carry off that negative energy, the energy that you don't need anymore. All that, I have noisemakers in this one. All that is stuff that can energetically cleanse your space and your body. Okay. Now. Guitar, bells, violin, harp. Mentally prepare yourself also. You're going to meditate, or meditate while you're in the bath, or meditate while you're standing in the wind, or meditate while you're saging yourself, and think really about how energetically I want to prepare myself for what's coming. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Oh, this was good. I really like this. So this is, I'm reading from Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. This is Scott Cunningham's book. While purifying yourself, remember to purify your thoughts as well. Prepare for the ritual. A Kuana, an expert in the ancient Hawaiian system of magic, philosophy, religion, and applied technology, once told me that the moment you think about performing a ritual, you are doing so. It is already taking place. Energies are moving. Consciousness is shifting the moment you think about it. So keep in mind that when you start thinking about how you're going to do that ritual, it's already begun. That's already part of the ritual process, is you're preparing how you're going to do that. You're gathering supplies, you're preparing yourself for what to do. So let's talk about being naked. There are several sects of paganism that only do ritual skyclad or naked. The reason for this is they feel like they can connect to their deity and to nature easier if there's nothing in the way of that, if it is just your body and the earth. They feel like clothing constricts their movement and constricts the connections, the energetic connections that they're making, and that is absolutely fine. I will tell you, 99% of the rituals that I do not do it skyclad. And there's lots of reasons for that. One is, I don't live in a, situation where I don't have neighbors around all the time. I think I've said before that I used to do all my rituals in the back lawn because it's this huge, we have a huge back lawn. But our neighbors down there, the back of their house juts up to our back lawn. And it used to be every time I pulled my altar out and lit candles and put my ritual garb on and stuff, they suddenly would turn their outside light on in the back and come out on their porch and sit and look at me. So I certainly wasn't going to do it skyclad, right? Well, I could have. That would probably solve that problem. But I am not real comfortable with that. Now, I will say that there are a couple of rituals that I have done skyclad, except I put a robe on. Because for me, around here, I'm just not, a voyeur kind of person. I'm not a here I am, look at me kind of person all the time. But I have done, I really felt very connected when I did a drawing down of the moon. Drawing down of the moon goddess, that is where you're literally taking that god or goddess into your being for a time and allowing that god or goddess to kind of live in your space. And you're totally conscious at the time. It is not like a possession thing. But I felt that was a time that I didn't want clothing on underneath my robe. Because I didn't want to make that goddess feel uncomfortable about what was there. And I didn't know really at the time what she would be comfortable with. So if you have the opportunity to, I highly suggest you try it sometime. Especially if you can do it alone so you're not feeling self-conscious about it. I would try it at least once to see if that's something that you connect with. It might be. I have also done ritual in my jeans and sweatshirt because that's what I felt comfortable in at the time, or it was a spontaneous ritual that, again, somebody came over or I went someplace else and we said, hey, let's do a quick ritual. I've done that too. So it's not wrong. It's not wrong either way. But if you're doing a conscious ritual, I just like to prepare myself in any way that I can to deeply connect. And that's my goal when I'm doing a ritual, is to thank my deity, peoples, gods, goddesses, spirits, guardians, and to celebrate with them the turning of the year, the turning of the wheel. So I try to use whatever, it's like a spell. I've said that before. What is a spell? A spell to me is energetically having a goal in mind and using everything I can think of around me to produce more energy towards that goal. So if that means I know this herb kind of, produces that kind of energy or helps me to build that kind of energy, oils, smells, objects, an acorn, a pine cone, whatever I am using, it is all to consciously try to build that energy that I'm going for towards that goal. So that is what, to me, what all of this is, what purification of self is preparing yourself for that ritual. Okay, so what else? Let's talk about anointing of oils. Okay, so anointing of oils is not a new thing. It has been around for centuries. All different kinds of religions do it. And again, to me, it is the same thing I was just talking about creating that energy, building that energy. This, before a ritual, we're talking about purifying your spirit and your soul and your body to prepare it for something new. So you can make your own oils. There are all kinds of people, if you go to your your like farm market kind of things, that usually people are selling oils there. You can make your own. Olive oil and some other kind of essential oil works good. I make my own oils. You can use oils from like that were sold by other people. Can't read that, can you? There you go. This is an oil that is hard in shape. And so this oil is Osiris oil. And so if I was working with the god Osiris, which I have before, I would anoint myself with this oil. I have fire oil, water oil, sun oil, earth oil, air oil. So that is elementally, sometimes like the elements, I like to put all four on because I want to bring in all four elements. I have oils that are just ritual oil. And there's, I'll try to, put a recipe in here really soon because we're talking about ritual. There's oils that you can buy. These are sold at Wegmans, I'm pretty sure. Oh, Wegmans to us is like, I don't know, a big grocery store, in case you're not from around here. So these are chakra oils, root and third eye oils. And they have like lavender in them and stuff for grounding and all that kind of stuff. Again, you can buy oils from eBay. This is psychic oil. I have flying balm, flying ointment, and that is for astral projection. So again, what is it that you're trying to create? What kind of energy do you want to create? For this, we're talking about cleansing. So I would use like a ritual oil or something like that. Some people have certain clothing that they wear only for ritual, and that's okay too. I have robes that I'll show you. I have jewelry that I only use for ritual. This bracelet, this is something that I have dedicated for ritual. This is like an Egyptian kind of bracelet. So when I'm working with my matron goddess Mayat, the goddess of justice, I wear that. I have certain necklaces that this is a green man or Krununus necklace that I only use for ritual. I have some stone bracelets that I only use for ritual. And then, like I said, I have different robes. Well, let me show you. First of all, I have stuff I put in my hair for ritual only. So this is a big scarf that I bought. It has dragonflies on it. So anytime I'm working with a god or goddess that has to do with air energy, I will put that in my hair. I have my glasses on, so I'll try not to crush my glasses. But I will tie that in my hair. You can tie your hair up with it. I always thought this was really magical. I use it a lot at Beltane because it has flowers on it and little sparkly things. I tie my hair up with that. This is obviously for Samhain. I can use this as a robe if Samhain is really hot. I can kind of roll it up and put it in my hair. This is for summer ritual because it's very light. So, but to me it looked magical, so I kind of make that only for ritual. My husband bought me this robe, which I believe I've shown before. This is a very light robe, and I adore it. And it has this gorgeous, long, big, huge hood with a little tassel on it. And this is very light material, so I use this for, summertime and early autumn ritual. I have, let's see, what's this one? So this one, some of these are my boys too. They all have their own robes. So this is just a satin material that's not lined. It does have a hood. Most of the robes that I have, I try to get hoods on because a couple of things. One is when you put your hood up, it allows you to more deeply shut the world out. So anything that's going on around you, you can shut the world out. Now, I don't often use that when I'm doing ritual, but if I'm doing like a meditation that I want to really connect spiritually, I can use a robe that has a hood. If I am, I don't know, I can't think right now, guys. I'm getting hot. Okay, but they're all pretty long. This one was my oldest son's forever. Whoops. I usually have these all hang up. But so this is a little bit warmer because it's like that velvety material, but it's not lined. So this is, maybe for fall kind of use. Hang it up, Jen. Again, they all have hoods on them. Oops, I did it backwards. No wonder. Okay. So, and this one is super long because he's super tall. This one was my first robe ever. I adore this robe. It is purple, which, yay, love it. It has a gorgeous long hood that is sewn up in the back, so it looks really cool. And it has a front clasp that I just love. And it's super long, and this one is lined, so it is super, super warm. So if I do winter or late fall or early spring ritual outside, sometimes I will wear that. Okay, so do you have to wear robes? No. As I have been saying time and time again, you do what feels right for you. I'm just giving you some ideas of some of the things that I do. And we are at 28 minutes, so there you go. I knew I was going to have to separate these out. So I will continue this series. I am going to read a Mabon story tonight and also talk about what Mabon is. Tomorrow I will show you all a couple different Mabon rituals so that you can be ready for next week if you want to do a ritual for Mabon. And then we'll continue on with our series here for ritual, the components, which the next component will be purification of space. And how do you do that? I hope you guys are liking this series. Hopefully we're getting on the path to being able to do your own rituals. And the goal of this is to, like I said, I have all these books about rituals and stuff, and I really, when I'm ready to figure out what kind of ritual I'm going to do for the Sabbath coming up, I really pull out a whole bunch of different books take a passage from this one, take a passage from this one, take out my Book of Shadows. I've written some that I really like from kind of, you know, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you should be able to start making your own rituals, which is really the goal, to make it very personalized for you. And before I finish, I do want to show you really quickly, my Arachne has really been calling me lately, and I will show you the final thing of why I was like, okay, apparently I'm supposed to, whoops, look at, can I show this? Here she is. Do you see her? She has made her home my altar. See the wolf spider? So, to me, that was a big call of Arachne is telling you it is really time to start researching her. So, yay! Hopefully you got some out of this and you've been enjoying this series, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you tonight probably anyway, but blessings.